Hi, friend. Welcome to Holly's Highlights, a podcast designed to encourage, inspire, and equip you to intentionally live your life full of purpose. I'm your host, Holly Kirby, motivational speaker, leadership cultivator, marketing strategist, and personal cheerleader. Let's check out today's highlight. This episode brought to you by Rooted & Company. Are you looking at buying or selling a home? You'll want to work alongside someone you can trust, who will treat you like family and who'll have your best interest at heart. That's why there's no better team to connect with than the team at Rooted & Company. Contact them for more information, to schedule an appointment to list your home, or start looking for one. Don't forget, they have the Heroes Next Door program too for all the police and fire and military, teachers, and even the healthcare providers. This saves you even more money. Now make sure to mention that you heard about them here on Holly's Highlights podcast for a special gift, such as free home staging, COVID-19 cleaning for the home you're selling or moving into, home warranty, or even a $500 gift card of your choice. That's awesome. Now get all these details when you reach out to them at rootedandcompany.com or by emailing connect@rootedandcompany.com, or even give them a call, 801-449-0602. Thank you, Rooted & Company, for making buying and selling a home so easy and enjoyable. Aloha, my friends. I am back from my leadership retreat in Hawaii that I was sharing with you on our last episode, Leadership Books 5 Must Reads. And I was actually able to get 2 more books read while I was gone. I was so excited. The first one was Clues by Vanessa Van Edwards, really good book there. And then a new favorite is Smart Leadership by Mark Miller. Now, this is not your typical Mark Miller book, I add. That book just moved to the top list of my must reads for leadership. I loved it. As I returned back from my trip, though, I had a plethora of requests from listeners for books to grow, not so much in leadership as the last episode covered, but in personal development. So for those of you who are planning your summer getaways and need a good book for the beach, or that long car or plane ride, or perhaps even just some reading material for lounging in a hammock at home, I would love to share with you today Personal Growth Books 5 Must Reads. Now, for our non-readers, before I lose you here, I encourage you to just give it a try, whether it be 10 pages a day or 10 minutes a day. I wasn't a reader either, and believe it or not, I still would not claim to be a reader. I am more of an achiever, and I like how with books you can start and finish something all while learning and growing at the same time. So we'll call that a win. But there are different ways to get engaged and learn from a good book, whether reading it, listening to an audio, or even getting involved in a book club for more discussion and perhaps ideas of application from what you read. It also helps if you're reading a book you actually enjoy. So give yourself permission to stop reading a book that you're not liking so much. I personally mark up and write and highlight all inside the books I read. And the more notes I make in a book, the more you can tell I really enjoyed it. So here we go. We're going to go over my top 5. And unlike last episode, these ones are actually going to be in order. So that number 1 spot goes to 10 Seconds of Insane Courage by Garrett Gravison. I read this one in one day. I love this book. I have passed this on to many people. I have spoken on this book. I have facilitated group book clubs on this book. I really love this book. Now, it takes us through and uncovers 8 fear factors that limit our lives and discover how to push through each one of those with, as it says, 10 seconds of insane courage. I like a quote in here that says, "See the possibilities as much as you see the obstacles, and then keep moving forward." Now, I had the pleasure of meeting the author, Garrett, and even hearing him speak years ago. And I took his challenge he wrote in the front of my book to say yes more often. After reading this book, I had 3 goals I set for myself. 1, get published in Lifeway's Women's Devotional Magazine. And I did it. Second one, plan a dream vacation for me and my kids and my parents. And I did. And then third, finish my master's degree. And I did. So this is going to be one of those books you just can't put down, and it leaves you ready to start your own list of goals or your bucket list or even those fears that you want to overcome. This second book is called Uninvited. Now, it's going to take you in a totally different direction, more of that emotional depth and pull of a book. Lisa has gone through her own divorce, and in this book, vulnerably invites us into her own deeply personal experience of rejection, judgment, abandonment, and overall heartache, and helps us uncover a love that doesn't reject nor uninvite, but one that truly delivers her. The author helps us deal with comparison and trust issues, friendship strains, rejection, feeling threatened by others or perhaps even their success, and move into a place where, as she puts it, honesty isn't to hurt us, but to heal us. On page 125, there's a quote I really value in how it says, "Choose to live loved in the middle of the journey, and know that what God has in mind for you is so much more than you imagined." So grab that blanket, your favorite beverage, and nestle in a comfy, cozy spot for this one. Uninvited, truly living loved when you feel less than, left out, and lonely. Number 3, Heroes Wanted by Rodney D. Bullard. Now, I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Bullard, a man of great influence who is humble and intentional and makes you feel seen and valued. I just have so much respect for this man. But this book is all about impact and how one person, you, can make a difference and truly create a legacy. Now, on page 29, the quote that I pulled out from here is, "There is no shortage of opportunities for you to be a hero. Time to listen to someone, commitment to a cause that needs volunteers, mental effort to solve a problem, patience with someone God has asked us to help through a trial." Well, all of this ties into leadership. Again, I know this is focused on leadership. That was last episode, but it really applies here with a quote from Jack Welch that before you're a leader, success is all about growing yourself. But when you step into that role, when you become a leader, success is all about growing others. So by the end of this book, I think you'll be a believer in the author's statement to never underestimate the importance of each and every conversation and truly helping others grow. Now, number 4 is Calm My Anxious Heart. It's by Linda Dillow. Now, we all have a lot of worry in our life, right? We worry about children. We worry about work. We worry about finances. The what ifs. Well, this book is filled with encouragement and practical help for overcoming anxiety, finding contentment, and how to apply all of that to our daily life. And there's even a bonus that you can purchase as a companion to this book of a journal, and it's available to record your thoughts and dive into a little deeper application of this book into whatever may be bringing about some anxiousness in your days. On page 35, the quote that stood out here was, "Contentment is more a shift in attitude than a change in circumstances." That makes me think of that fish book from the leadership series that we did last episode of how we approach something and how it is truly our perspective and our approach of it, our attitude. And this backs up in our personal life as well, that contentment is more a shift in attitude than a change in circumstances. It goes on to challenge us that our perspective of our circumstances, ourselves, our roles, and even our relationships can change. And it encourages us to see how the barriers of anxiety and greed and that faulty focus can keep us from possessing a heart of contentment. At the end of it all, in the midst of this world of chaos, especially just this past week and all of its tragedies, this book truly brings about a calm for our anxious hearts. The 5th and final book that I have here today is The God of Second Chances by Stephen Arterburn. Now, I used to attend Women of Faith conferences for years with my mom and took other ladies with us. And there was one year that author Stephen Arterburn shared his story. Wow. He was so honest and candid and ever so vulnerable, and in an arena of thousands upon thousands of women, which you'll understand that courageous feat when reading his story. But his story brings to light the world's promise at power and pleasure and possessions and how they basically seduced him. And yet how only God can satisfy. Only God can restore. Only God can offer that redemptive grace when we're empty and in despair. So this is another book that I finished on a plane ride home just in one day, and I just couldn't put it down. It left me in tears and in awe. The author's story is inspiring, and I never knew just how much I'd be able to relate on the side of divorce, this side of it, due to another person's choices, that the temptations of Satan, yet the miracles and healing that God can do with a broken heart who turns to him, just as Stephen Arterburn did. Now, there's so much heartache and yet forgiveness and restoration within these pages that hopefully for those of you who are thinking, but if you only knew, well, hopefully you'll read that there is no sin beyond God's grace and forgiveness. So whether you're needing help looking at these 5 books and either facing and overcoming fears, such as 10 Seconds of Insane Courage, or living loved, such as in Uninvited, or living intentional and with impact, like Heroes Wanted, or that learning to be content and let go of the what-if anxieties, such as Calm My Anxious Heart, or even forgiving yourself or others and accepting God's redemptive grace, such as the God of second chances. These are 5 books that are surely going to help you press into that personal growth and walk a little taller, and as a friend of mine would even say, live your best life. Now, I'd love to hear from you some of your favorite books you've read, so just hop on over on Facebook at Holly's Highlights or on Instagram at Holly Kirby. And if you're looking for more growth in any of these areas of life, well, first of all, there is a section on my website, hollykirby.com, entitled Resources, and it has more books that I would suggest. Again, they didn't make my top 5 for leadership or my top 5 for personal, but they're still great books. Or second area is if you'd like to just have a little bit more help in some of these areas of life where I could come along and partner with you for personal coaching, I would love to come alongside you and help you reach your potential across all facets of life. Whether wanting to improve your self-confidence, determine your strengths and your weaknesses, seek a different perspective, heighten your self-awareness, improve relationships and communication, discover clarity of your purpose, manage your time and overall productivity better. Basically, if you're saying, I'm stuck, or what's next, or how do I fill in the blank, then you can connect with me at contact@hollykirby.com or simply go to my website, Holly Kirby, that's HOLLYCURBY.com, and just select the contact me page. You can reach me there as well. As Oprah Winfrey says, we can't become what we need to be by remaining what we are. So instead of just going about life, try growing through life. Happy reading and growing, my friend. Thank you for joining me on this journey of life. I hope that today's highlight has been encouraging, inspiring, and equipping so you can go out and live your life full of purpose. I'd be honored if you'd take a moment to leave a review, or better yet, subscribe. We can also stay in touch by joining my email list at hollykirby.com. That's HOLLYCURBY.com. Until next time, make it a great day for a great day.